Welcome to the Huddle Within podcast, where we go beyond the surface to uncover the real impact of sports in our lives, whether it's lessons of resilience, the passion that fuels us, or the stories that connect us all. This is where the game gets personal. I am Daniel, a regular sports fan like you, and together we'll explore what sports truly means beyond the surface. So step right into the huddle and let's get into it. G'day everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the Huddle Within podcast. I'm really excited to launch this podcast for you guys and extremely looking forward to see where this kind of goes. It's been a while since I've thought about doing this, and I finally decided to pluck up the courage and get some balls and put out an episode and record an episode. So if I'm honest, I'm fucking nervous. I'm really nervous. Don't really know where this is going to go, but extremely excited nevertheless. And I guess for this first episode, I just want to share why I started this podcast, what can you expect, and most importantly, why I believe sports is just more than wins and losses. It's going to be a space for us, for sports fans and people who live and breathe sports like myself, and see if we can also incorporate some life lessons in the process too. So basically, I guess like you, I'm just a regular guy that's a massive sports fan that has passions for sports. And my story would be quite similar to the generic person. And I feel like that's why I can, relate to the audience here. Because unlike most of the people we do see on podcasts who are either coaches, professional athletes, or huge media personalities, I possess none of those things. I'm literally a guy sitting in my garage right now and recording a podcast and trying to put out, something different and some different opinions on sports and looking into that deep level. But yeah, my journey started as a kid playing Aussie rules football. For those that don't know, that's Australian football. At school, at recess, just constantly kicking the ball. It was a thing where I kind of just escaped my problems in my life and used it as a tool to, forget about the world. And I think when I got immersed in it so much, it really felt like nothing else mattered while I was playing the sports, and that's what got my passion. And then I guess when you grow up to become a kid, you start understanding that there's teams to support, there's a lot of people that are probably in the same boat as you, and that's where I guess I built the connection into sports fandom and started getting into my team. So I go for Collingwood Magpies in the AFL, and that was kind of the first stepping stone into my sport journey. I supported them as a kid, made friends with pretty much my best mates to this day because of the fact that I did support Collingwood and I was into the same things as they were. So originally that's how I became friends with my friends, was having that common denominator, which was the love of sport. And then as I got older, I started to explore different sports such as soccer. That's when I started playing it. And then decided to take up supporting Manchester United, which has been a journey and a half, let's say. Been spoiled as a kid, but right now it ain't looking too good. And then as I grew up, I started to take fond in other sports such as NBA, such as NFL, such as Formula One, and all these type of things. So basically, I guess what made me get into that sport was, escaping my life and finding something that distracted me from the reality. Which was the reality of school, and then it became the reality of work. And I got into it more during university. I started having conversations with people all the time about sports. I really loved and supported teams and was really passionate about how my team was going. It then led me to getting onto podcasts and trying to absorb information, get opinions and takes, and see whether they agreed with mine or not. And the truth is, I always loved sports. But as I got older, once I realized over time that it's not just about the actual games itself, the results, and it started to, be more about the lessons, the resilience, the emotions, and the moments as to why we care so much, that's when I started getting that deeper passion for sports. And that's what's prompted me to, make this podcast and further discuss those things, go into the depths of those conversations. And like I see all the time on on normal shows, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on TikTok, generic conversations, people just putting their opinions to get views, clicks. Like for me, it's so easy to get lost in debates about who's the GOAT, different contracts disputes, or any controversies that happen in everyday sports. But how often do we honestly hear about the human side of sports? How it helps people through tough times, how it shapes mindsets, or why fans form such deep connections to their teams. And hopefully with this platform, I'm able to kind of uncover these things. And you don't necessarily have to agree with how I feel and how I interpret and how I think about the things, but I would love for you guys that do see sports as a basic surface level of entertainment shaped on wins and losses to have another perspective, to have another view, to have another opinion on what sports really is, and really, really unravel and deeply look into the lives and the emotions and the feelings of a sports fan. And for me, it's taken me a lot of years to kind of realize and discover this. But now that I have, it's just given me a lot more purpose in life. And I guess it just helps me get through the days, and it makes me more interested in the sport itself, because I really do believe the game does go beyond just wins and losses. There's a lot of, I guess, life lessons to take. So we're going to have a lot of, I'm very excited to be honest, because we're going to have a lot of different topics. Like there's going to be topics that you may have thought about in your time, and to be honest, you probably thought about it, but you've never really scratched the surface of it. So that's what I'm hoping we can also do as well. And if you are like a deep person like myself, that I feel like I am, don't be hesitant to put down a comment or anything that you feel you'd like me to talk about. And I guess this is something new for me as well. So I haven't really pat down my structure on how I guess I want to do this, but I'd love to make it as interactive as possible. I'd love to create a bit of a community of people who have kind of the same, again, mindset as I do when it comes to sports, and even just create a platform where we can discuss these deep conversations, or even sometimes just have a chat, casual surface level as well. But I do want this podcast to be different to what I've seen on a regular basis as well. So obviously going to be considering that too. So without diving into too much information, this is just merely a intro episode to kind of let you know what I'm about and what I'm planning to do. I do want you to kind of take a look and think about, I guess, these two questions going into the next episode when we do start to discuss specific topics and things. So the first question is, if you took sports out of your life, what would be missing? And this is something that I really want you to think about, and feel free to leave a comment once you've answered the question as well. For me personally, if I didn't have sports in my life, I feel as though I wouldn't have as many friends or connections, or I'd feel more misunderstood than I already am. The reason being is because without, I guess, getting involved in sports, you don't meet the people that you interact with, whether you're playing with them, or you don't really have, for me personally, a lot of conversation base to talk about. I feel like sport is such a realm where you can discuss so many things and have so many kind of, I guess, different topics of conversation. And I think that's what makes my life interesting, and it's also an escape to my normal life as well. And I'm sure that would be the same for all of you. But all in all, I think it comes down to, I guess, having a community and a group of people that come together for the same thing and the same interest, and I guess discuss that as mentioned before, going through their everyday lives. So I honestly don't know what would happen in my life without sports. Maybe there'd be, I guess, another topic I would talk about, but to the level of what sports gives you, the fact that there's so much attachment to your teams, you never see more attachment to something else other than, I guess, your family. And your family is not even by choice. Now, the only choice that you probably make is the choice of being with your partner. And then other than that, it's sport. But sport's always the first one because you chose to be a sporting fan when you were a kid. If you chose to have a girlfriend before a kid, then you're probably a lot smarter and different than us. But going on that, I think for me, it's very hard to see what my life would be without sports. And I don't want to end that. I want to continue creating a life revolved around sports and discussing it. So what better way to do that than have a community and build a community and have a podcast to really talk about that. So yeah, really think about that question, come up with some answers. I'm really interested to see like other perspectives as well. So that would be awesome too. And then the second one being, what lessons have sports taught you that you've applied to in your real life? So this one's a lot more deeper, I think. I think this one unravels kind of our characters and who we are. And I don't know about you, but like when you're playing a sport, you really feel like your character kind of and your personality is translated exactly to the way you play and how you approach the game. I see that with people that I play with, I see with opponents, and I also see it, I guess, within professional sports as well. So this one I struggled to also answer, but I guess the main thing is just to never really give up. I think in the end, whatever success or failure means to someone else, you're playing and especially for the professionals, like being inspired by them to be on a professional level, getting paid millions to do something that they well and truly love is something that has also, I guess, taught me to do as well. Like maybe I wasn't able to ever be good enough to become a professional player, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't able to strive for success and try to win in this life. So yeah, I guess that's what sport has taught me. It's also taught me that there's always going to be ups and downs. You're not always going to succeed. There's always going to be moments of failure, but is failure really the truth if you don't give up or you don't just continue going? And I think Giannis said it perfectly in that speech and things like that. So that's basically like the core premise, like that Giannis speech after he basically got kicked out of the playoffs by Miami, saying that there's no failure in sports. He's 100% spot on. And I think we don't really address it that much and we don't really look into that. And the fact that he was able to kind of decipher that and talk about that in his post-game press conference, his essential exit interview, it was rather inspiring, I have to say. And something that I guess is what's going to be the theme of future episodes too. And I keep teasing it because I'm excited. In my head, I'm just thinking, let's get these out. Let's get these topics going. But baby steps. We continue, we build, we give this introduction. And yeah, again, I'm just super keen to get started. So again, yeah, have a look at those questions. Reply to me in the comments with your answers. And if there is a fair bit of comments, hopefully I can answer those in the next few episodes to come. And I guess before we wrap up, I just wanted to kind of just speak upon other stuff that I'm doing. So I'm currently hosting a WWE main event show, podcast, or show on a podcast called the WWE Podcast, where if you are a WWE fan, it's broken up into multiple brands and shows, which is Raw, SmackDown as the main two. And then you have what is called main event as well as NXT 2. But I do the main event episodes there, and I record those on a weekly basis. So would be really keen for you guys to take a look into that and kind of see what else I'm working with as well. But that kind of, I guess, inspired me to also create my own podcast, because I've always wanted to do this as something that I've always been keen on, and getting that opportunity to work on the WWE podcast was pure fate. I literally just messaged the owner of the show and I managed to fill in for 2 weeks of SmackDown. Really enjoyed it. Something new, and honestly didn't really know what I was doing, but went into it anyway. And yeah, then started to do main event shows. And I've only done maybe about 4 or 5 episodes, but I'm totally in love with it. I really enjoy putting out that content. And yeah, I'm keen to share it, I guess, to the world. But it's still a learning process for me. Like, of these things are going to be a lot new. There's going to be a lot to explore. And I honestly don't know where this is going to go. But for me, that's what makes this, I guess, extremely exciting, and something that, I'm looking forward to and continue to look forward to do as I go through this journey and as we go through this journey together. Because without people going in, tuning in, and building something, I feel like it's not really worth anything. Just doing this for myself. So I really hope I get some people that really like what we're doing. And if you're open to any opinions or any suggestions, feel free to. In the future, I would love to get someone to join the podcast with me. I feel like interaction is key as well. We can bounce ideas and it can help a lot of things. So yeah, very excited. Getting this first episode, having the balls to actually record it has been awesome. So yeah, I think it doesn't stop here. The work will continue, but we're gonna get there. So really, really looking forward to it. So in saying that, that's a wrap for this episode of the Huddle Within podcast. I appreciate you for tuning in and being part of this community where we go beyond the game and into what really matters. If this episode really resonated with you, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share with anyone else who sees sports the way that we do. And I'd love to hear from you. Connect with me on those social medias, which will be in the description below. Send in your thoughts or even be part of a future episode. Until next time, when we start to really get into the topics, keep that sports passion alive. Don't forget to answer those questions, and always remember that it's always deeper to the game. Continue to stay into the huddle, and I will catch you on the next episode. Cheers.